I forgot how awesome this place was. A National Route 66 Museum in Elk City, Oklahoma. Check it out, there's the Pacific Ocean back there, and here are many scenes that we've already seen on Route 66. The Old West and the old Indian trading posts. Live rattlesnakes. All those classic Route 66 neon signs. Look at that, I've seen a lot of those places. I slept in the Flamingo last night. Ooh, Tucumcari tonight. We know Tucumcari. That's a great honeymoon destination. Now just the Oklahoma oil country, Missouri, and eventually Chicago. Soon. Look at this sailor here, headed west. Sorry, buddy, can't give you a ride. We're going the other way. I love all the cars in here, like this Model A Roadster, this old Ford truck, or how about that old Studebaker, or this sweet Corvette? They all have signs showing who donated them to the museum. But my favorite sign is in front of this nice 1928 Ford truck, courtesy of the Jode family. Shh. Oh my gosh, it's Henry Fonda. Looks like he's getting ready to read some of his lines in The Grapes of Wrath. For those of you who don't get the joke, the family that travels down Route 66 to California from Oklahoma in the movie is called the Jode family, and I highly recommend that movie. Notice I don't even mention the book. It's too hard to get people to read books in 2017. I give up. Oh, I love this museum. I love any museum that puts a road right on the ground. It's crazy to think that I've already covered all the same miles that the Okies would have had to cover to get out to California during the Dust Bowl. All that's left now, Oklahoma, Kansas, Missouri, and Illinois. As you can see, I didn't make it very far into Oklahoma, so it's probably time to get a move on. What I love about Elk City's National Route 66 Museum is that it's just a small part of a huge museum complex. This here is the Old Town Museum, and it shows you a little slice of life in old-timey Oklahoma. You got the old pharmacy, the old soda fountain, a little family-owned oil company featuring Huff Kelly, proprietor. Well, let's see, what do we got here? Ooh, menswear. I'm a man, sorta. Maybe someday I'll go in there and get me some duds. Oh, here's the funeral home. Fun for the whole family. This place goes on forever. Got the whole town here. General store, a grocery, some kind of supply, a jeweler, and wait, what's that upstairs? Oh, the Masons. Ooh. Small town Illuminati. Most of this stuff wasn't open the last time I was here. I never knew Jimmy Carter worked at the country store. Most of these buildings are little mock-ups, but some of them are authentic, like the old schoolhouse. Dang, the old rock schoolhouse. Old school places like this rock. Oh, they got the old church here. Ooh, and the old livery stable. What you doing back there in that livery stable? Nothing, just fixing to hitch up my old buggy. That Justin's always being the horses. Hey, watch it. This is a family show. Yes, sir, they got a lot of great stuff out here, but I think my favorite is the old train depot. Because there's few things that I like better in life than a good caboose. Caboose, caboose, I'm into the old caboose. Caboose, caboose, I'm not in the old caboose. Yes, sir, quality entertainment here, folks. Wait a minute, what the heck is this? Kenny Rogers? Yes, sir, they even have a farm and ranch museum out here. Did you know all these old windmills were used to pump up water from the ground? I always thought it was just sort of farmer fashion, but I guess not. These things served an important purpose. Look at this one's still working. Ooh. I haven't been in here yet, but I am a big fan of farms and ranches. Wow! Would you look at this place? Would you look at the size of that windmill? God dang it, every time I sit down for some pie, somebody comes along in the museum. Get out of here, y'all. Ooh, don't bother that cowboy. Look at all these old plows, old tractors and giant old separators and things. Look at this, the old carriage, and then the horseless carriage. Man, I'd love to take a ride in one of these trucks. Or maybe this old roomly tractor here. Ooh, nice display on growing cotton. This is cotton country. Oh, and then there's this. I've been looking for that no-good cheating blacksmith. No blacksmith today. They have a lot of stuff in here. There's even a ball hog oiler. I have no idea what that is. And if that giant barn room wasn't enough, there's another room back here. Wow, look at this old visible gas pump and this old Chevy truck right there. This one time, we took the old Chevy out to the levee, but the levee was dry. At least I think it was dry. My Memory's kinda hazy there. We were drinking a lot of whiskey and rye with the good old boys. How about this old tractor here and all this cotton? Dang, that's what my underwear's made out of. All artifacts of old good-timey Oklahoma.
Before the dark times, before the Dust Bowl.
All right, it's time to quit horsing around. Oh, you hear that? That's the open road calling. Time to head back out there, back on old Route 66. Oh, I should probably take the car. Should probably take that. Man, I'm feeling pretty tired today. Luckily, there's a beautiful drive, and it's really just a hop, skip, and a jump to our next town. Welcome to Clinton, Oklahoma, home of the trade winds. It may not look like much now, but back in 1963, when local veterinarian Doc Mason built this place, it was quite the hotspot. At one time, it was fit for a king, and that top right room up there, number 215, played host to the king, Elvis Presley, 4 times when he was going back and forth between Memphis and Las Vegas. They've kept all the same furniture in that room, but I asked and they will not let us go check it out unless I spend the entire night in there. Maybe on the way home. For now, though, it's time to head over here across the street on some other land that used to be owned by Doc Mason. That is now the Route 66 Museum. Excuse me, the Oklahoma Route 66 Museum. Of all of the Route 66 museums out there, this one's probably the best. And it's just like 30 minutes down the interstate from the other one. In terms of Route 66 history, you can probably learn more here than anywhere else. This one goes decade by decade and starts from the very earliest days of road construction with the old trails, which were very poorly made and even more poorly signed with all these weird colorful markings. Pretty hard to follow a bunch of colors down the road, especially when the roads looked like that. Until along came Good Roads Associations. Once the automobile started becoming affordable, men here like Cyrus Stevens Avery started pushing for good highways, paved highways, national highways, numbered highways with signs that were easy to follow, highways that crisscrossed the United States, north and south, odd numbers, east and west, even numbers, and our slanty, legendary Main Street of America, Route 66. This place covers it all, from the Dust Bowl to the New Deal, all the way down to World War II. A lot of the soldiers and sailors were getting shipped off from California into the Pacific, and in order to get to California, hitchhiking had to come into its own. They even covered the early history of trucks and automobiles taking over shipping, which up till then had been the domain of trains and even horses and wagons. Trucking made it easier to get your stuff wherever you needed it to go, but along with the trucks came mechanics. And those early cars and trucks on those early bad roads used to break down quite a bit. And that's why we see so many abandoned garages on the highway today.
What seems to be the problem down there, Matt?
It's probably this broken Duselheim thing. I don't know about cars. Check this out. Did you know the parking meter was invented in Oklahoma? Because there was so much traffic and so many cars clogging up the streets on Route 66. So 2 professors from Oklahoma State University invented this.
Mom, I'm learning!
Of course, the museum is not all Dust Bowl and World War II. They also have some glory years. Hey, sup? So you got yourself a 53 Chevy Heim going with the V-twin motor. Neat. Hey, that's another okay used car sign back there. That's 3 I've seen on this trip so far. Is that a thing? Am I missing something? Oh yeah, this is what I'm talking about. Well, give me a milk chocolate. Wop wop a dooba dop a dooba da bay. I like to be in the 50s. Yes, sir. Those were the happy days, the good old days. And then along came the Great Terror, the hippies. Pretty crazy to think that the Flower Children were once thought of as a huge threat to American culture and values.
Peace, man. Peace.
I'm probably a little more into Mad Men than Woodstock, so I'm more impressed by things like this. Look at these old, actual family home movies from the 1960s. Road tripping down Route 66. There's a lot of orangutan footage in this one. Oh, a penguin. Somewhere out there's a bunch of slides from my great-grandma and grandpa and my aunts and uncles on their own family trip down Route 66. Pretty cool being in here and seeing so many familiar sights. I love stuff like this. I wish I could make models. They're so cool. Oh, check that out. There's Will Rogers right there. The Mark Twain of his day from Oklahoma. Route 66 is actually known as the Will Rogers Highway in a lot of places. We'll talk more about him later. All right, 2 years in a row. We did it. See, what'd I tell you? There's Will Rogers right there. The Will Rogers Highway. Check out this quote down here. Screenshot it really quick. That's a good one. Remember way back in Arizona when we stopped at Twin Arrows and I showed you the old Valentine Diner all abandoned and crusty? Well, check this out. The Oklahoma Route 66 Museum has a restored and beautiful, by the way, original Valentine Diner. Like I said before, they shipped these things on railroad cars all over the country. You could get a complete diner for as little as $5,000. And you could do it on a payment plan where inside of the door of this thing, they had a lockbox. You'd put 10% of your earnings in there, and every once in a while, someone from the railroad would come by and take your 10% to pay it off. Normally, they don't let anyone inside the diner, but I was lucky enough to be standing there right when they went in to clean. Right place at the right time, and we got a good look at the inside of the beautiful Valentine Diner here. I even got to stand behind the counter for a fun pic and see pics of it before its restoration. Ugh, unfun pic. Looks a heck of a lot better now. All right, it's time to hit the road again, partway through the small towns, partway on the interstate. Supposed to be some stormy weather soon, and I want to get well clear of it. Man, I love this. Oklahoma has more miles of unbroken, old, original Route 66 pavement than any other state. Look at this old concrete road. Whoa, and slow down right here. Look at this old bridge. I found out today that the first mile, the first solid mile of paved concrete road was only finished in 1909. That means my grandpa was only 6 years younger than the first mile of paved road. That's weird. We take these roads for granted now, but in a historical sense, they're still a relatively new thing. I love how old Route 66 moves up and down with the land like this. You actually feel like you're getting to know the place you're traveling to. Whoa. Oh my gosh. Would you look at the size of that? Holy moly, do you know what that is? This gigantic thing is one of those propeller blades. You know, for those giant wind-generated electrical propeller thingies? Man, I mean, I knew those things were big, but not this big. Whoa, I was not expecting to see this. Dang, it takes forever just to walk around this thing. Would you look at the size of just the tip of that? That's a big boy right there. I never realized that they were slightly curved like that. Huh. Well, don't that beat all? A giant propeller at the police station. Looks like they confiscated the suspect's blade. You know, Weatherford, Oklahoma here might not be in the famous Route 66 song, but it's a pretty cool little town to drive through. Very Back to the Future-y. Mr. Sandman, Mr. Sandman. Speaking of going back in time, take a look at this. This is the old Provine Station, built in 1929. Boy, times have changed, but not this place. Still standing. This is a very rare thing. An old filling station with a residence up on top. In 1941, a couple named Lucille and Carl Hammonds bought this place, raised 3 children here, and Lucille survived and ran this place until the year 2000. The exterior of the old gas station was recently restored by a guy who built a restaurant in the same shape and named it after Lucille, who, by the way, was known as the mother of the Mother Road. Check it out. Here is the original filling station, and here is the modern restaurant built to look just like it, albeit a little bigger. 1929. This place saw all the Okies coming from their farms, filling up here and heading out to California. And when Lucille and Carl bought it, they saw all those servicemen heading out west to join the war effort. Lucille saw the interstate come, but wouldn't give up, stayed in business until the year 2000. That blows my mind. Wow, the stories this building could tell. I wish they still had ice cream here. It's getting a little warm. That's wild. Still here, and so is the original concrete, early paved Route 66. Now it's a frontage road, but we can still drive on it. Well, looks like the land has recovered pretty well from that old Dust Bowl. Boy, this is a beautiful country out here. Rolling hills, green grass, beautiful trees, farms and cows and old bridges. We've come a long way from Los Angeles. Speaking of bridges, look at this mighty bridge over the South Canadian River. It goes on and on and on forever. And I've already been on it for a long, long way. Ancient Route 66 bridge. Woo! I cannot overemphasize how much I'm loving today's drive. There's some beautiful red dirt farmland out there. Ooh, here's Geary, Oklahoma. As you can see, not too much going on here. This very small town was only a part of Route 66 until 1932. After that, Route 66 moved away, and so must we. I love taking the weird, old, obscure alignments of Route 66. I mean, otherwise I would never see towns like this. Awesome. Next up, quite a long way down that highway. Calumet, Oklahoma. The home of the chieftains. Not a very large town at all. Doesn't seem to be much here that's Route 66 related at all, so we'll keep on barreling down the old highway. Next stop, historic El Reno, Oklahoma, known as the Crossroads of America. Why? I don't know, but it is a historic town on Route 66, and it's home to this guy. Oh, Squawk and Scoot, chicken and more. I've seen a lot of Julios in my time, but that one's my favorite. Wow, and Squawk and Scoot is for sale. You could buy Squawk and Scoot and own a Route 66 restaurant. Oh, there's a lot of cool stuff in El Reno. Check this place out. This is an old converted Avant gas station, service station. Check out this old converted Conoco station. Look at that. Looks a lot like those little tiny dollhouse Phillips 66 stations. Only bigger. I don't know whether this place is renting photo booths or selling donuts, but whatever it's doing it in style. Look at that old chevron roof there. Man, I feel like gas stations now all look the same. It'd be pretty cool if each company could go back to having a unique architecture style, wouldn't it? I gotta tell you, standing on this corner here, I can really smell Sid's Diner. Home of the Onion Burger, which sounds terrible, but man, it smells good. Wish I could eat it. I started today tired, and I'm still really tired now. I'm starting to lose steam. I think it's plain to see I could use a little rest, but I want to see if I can get a little farther on down Route 66. We are getting pretty close to Oklahoma City, which is my next major milestone. This up ahead is Yukon, Oklahoma, home of Garth Brooks. Wow, who knew Garth Brooks was from Route 66? Looks like the Mother Road comes straight down Main Street in Yukon. This place sells bail bonds and police supplies. Whoever that is working both sides of the angle right there. Oh, check it out. A music store. You think Garth Brooks ever comes in this music store? Dang, it'd be pretty cool to buy a guitar on Route 66. Not today, but just saying. Well, if it's good enough for Garth Brooks, then I guess it's good enough for me. Check this out. This is by far the nicest hotel room I've had this whole trip. 10 nights in a row, I used Hotels.com and I've been staying in some places. And then you get the 10th night free, so I could stay at this really nice hotel for $24.
This is the best $24 I've ever spent. Someday I will run for president.
Let me just bring up my stuff here. Oh, look at me. I have a couch. King of the castle. Everybody always asks what I eat when I travel. I bring my own food with me. I left the portable stove in the car. Don't need it, because there's actually a microwave in here. But I've got paper plates and bowls, frying pan. Not the mama. I got plastic forks and spoons and whatnot, napkins, trash bags, paper towels, toilet paper, and some canned food, including this. We used to eat this stuff in the Boy Scouts all the time, and it turns out that it's gluten-free, and it's got carrots and potatoes, and it's got stuff in it, so it's probably okay. Got a box of some salt and pepper and whatnot. And I bought these weird gluten-free backpacking food things at REI. I haven't tried them yet, though. I also haven't tried this salsa. And here I've got my blanket. I usually always sleep with my own blanket and my own pillow, which I left in the car. I got some clothes, some chonies, a little bathroom bag that I've had for, geez, a long time. 15 years. Then I got my camera backpack over there, a laptop. The average day on this trip, I've been getting up at 10 a.m., filming till 5 or 6 or 7, edit till 11 or 12, take a shower, do whatever, usually fall asleep around 2 or 3 and repeat. That's probably why I'm starting to get so tired. Look at this, I've slowly been adding stickers to my box. Check out all the Route 66 states so far. Only 3 more to go after Oklahoma. Okay, let's give this stuff a try. Sorry to end this video on such a weird note. I don't usually tucker out so easily, but what you couldn't see in the video today is that it's about 1,000 degrees in Oklahoma. That sunshine felt like it was gonna burn your face off. Make sure to check out the links down below. See you guys tomorrow on old Route 66. Right now I gotta try some habanero. I've never had habanero salsa before. It's probably not as hot as everybody says, because I like spicy stuff.
I'm inside the old caboose.
Caboose, caboose.
I'm loving the old caboose. This is the best $24 I've ever spent. Someday I will run for president. Probably not, actually.